I learned how to knit when I was in middle school, and after taking a few years off, I've found my love for it again. My roommate, an avid knitter herself, was actually one of the first people to introduce me to Ravelry.com, and since she showed me the website, I've been hooked. It's the #1 place I go to find my patterns and all my advice for all of my knitting projects. On the About Us page on the site, the creators boast that Ravelry is a place for knitters, crocheters, designers, spinners, weavers, and dyers to keep track of their tools and project information. They also say it's a great place to connect with people who love to play with yarn from all over the world. On the site, users can search through patterns by specific project and design types. You can build your own library with all of your favorite projects, or you can create a wish list for future projects to come back to later. When you find a pattern you like, you can download it to keep it on your computer, or you can click on the name of the project for more specific details about the materials and the difficulty. You can also view close-up images of the design. Here, you can connect with other users by looking at their versions of the project, as well as their tips and adaptations and their journeys through the project. They also post photos of what they've created. You can even click on the comment section and see how people found the pattern overall, as well as any correspondence between the pattern's creator and the users. That way, users can communicate any errors of the pattern with the author. While I was scrolling through the homepage, I found a post from one of the creators of Ravelry detailing plans for a meetup in New York. It really got me thinking about how Ravelry builds community outside of the site. Knitting and crafting with yarn is something so physical and it can't be replicated online that it seems like it would be a good idea for people to meet up in person to talk about their crafts. I wanted to look at how the site accomplishes this task. To find groups that are on the site, I went to the group page and searched for meetups. Here, I found that there were tons of different groups to meet up in person and work on projects, which is very cool to see. You can even narrow down your search depending on your location, and so I looked at the ones closest to me, which happened to be about 40 miles away. There is one group though, when I clicked on it, I found that there were not very many postings, and it looks like they haven't met up in a while or haven't had any discussions in a while. While it's great that Ravelry allows people to make these groups, and it seems like there are a ton of them, they really aren't effective if nobody posts on them anymore, or if they've kind of died out. I decided to look through the first page and to see how many were actively used in the last month or so. This group here was one of the first that popped up. It looks like the last discussion was less than a day ago, and the other discussions look fairly recent as well. This second group I found also had recent postings, as well as some fun activities on their page, which was good to see. However, looking through most of the pages that popped up, it doesn't look like most of them are active, or at least haven't been used in the last month. Meetup groups are a great way for crafters to connect with each other. And while Ravelry is a great site for finding patterns and small tips on specific projects, it really looks like the community building aspect of the site is lacking, or at least not being used by the users. It seems like the community can only get so far when everybody is sharing something online that can only be created offline. In order to help increase the outside community, Ravelry could add more in-person events to the homepage. This way, anyone can see them, and you don't have to go out of your way to find a specific group of people to try to meet up with. They could even have a feed of pop-up events near you by using some kind of location services technology, so it would be easier to connect and find these groups. Lastly, if Ravelry really wants to help build a community, it would help for them to narrow down the focus of their site so that people know what area of the site they can connect with others in person. I just showed one here, but there are multiple places all over the site, and with so many different areas to connect, it can get really confusing for users to find out exactly where to meet up with people. I'm looking forward to seeing what Ravelry will do in the future and how they will work to further community both on the website and in actual communities all across the country.